All right, hey everybody, welcome to episode 21 of the 0 to 100K Etsy AI Challenge. So, last week was awful. It was horrible. I didn't do much because I was working on other stuff, and honestly, it was just a broke even, I think, for the week. Might have even taken a slight loss. I'll tell you why in a second. But so, Saturday, I was like, okay, let's add some listings. Got it up to 2,220. Sunday, I did an E-rank check on my shop, and I'm selling more than 94.1% of Etsy sellers. That's a cool thing to motivate me, but at the same time, I'm like, Etsy is really divided. There's either like the top 10% that are doing any kind of sales, and then I would say 90% are doing nothing because I don't consider the shop to be a top anything, and Etsy's telling me that I'm selling more than 94.1% of sellers. That's weird. Like, I don't know what's happening with Etsy, but that is that's a bizarre stat. So I got that off E-rank, but E-rank has data on all these shops out there, so I don't know what's going on. I like I look at that as two ways. Like, yeah, that's awesome, good for you, Will, nice work. But the other way is, what the hell? Like, Etsy, you're really? That's it? Like, man, oh well. I don't know what to make of that. But are they? Now I haven't looked through their investor uh, release there for the third quarter, but I imagine I think Etsy's down, to be honest, because they're making all these moves with trying to get you to promote your shop on social media. Like, they're basically saying we need you to go out and bring more traffic to our site because our sales are down. And I think in the big picture, this is on the back end of the kind of like, remember the tech bubble back in like 2007? Well, some of you wouldn't, you might have been in diapers, but back in 2007, there was a tech bubble, and you could buy a tech stock in any company, Amazon, Oracle, eBay, whatever you wanted, and it would automatically go up. And that's all you had to do is put money in the stock, and then the bubble burst, and then everything came crashing down. And I think what Etsy's going through right now is the pandemic bubble has burst. So during the pandemic, and you'll see a lot of YouTubers as well that started their shops in like 2020 or 2021 even, and they did really, really well. And they took off like a rocket ship because of the pandemic, because people were at home, people were online, people didn't have anything else to do, so they were shopping on Amazon, Etsy, and even eBay and all like Shopify stores and everywhere. They were buying like crazy because they're bored. They still had money, and the economy was going really well. And in fact, the economy went so well during the pandemic that they had to raise interest rates at the end of it. So now we're sitting in a period where that bubble burst. We're on the downslope of it. And I think Etsy's feeling that because some of these moves that they're making reflect that downturn and the bubble bursting. So, in the big picture, for someone who's starting an Etsy shop at the start of like a downturn in the economy and Etsy, that's a bad thing. Short term, it's a bad thing. Long term, it's fine. Things, bubbles recover, dips always come back, everything comes back. Just ask all those crypto guys who are still they're still trying to get you to put money in crypto because they hold a lot of crypto and they need it to come back in value before they sell it and lose their shirts. Just remember that too. Anyway, um, my motivation right now for the shop is probably at about 2%, to be honest. I'm just like, I'm gonna keep going through, and if I were not doing these videos every week, I would probably just put this on the shelf because if I'm not seeing results from something after like 21 weeks, well, I'm seeing results. But if I'm not where I want to be after 21 weeks, my nature is to just move on to the next thing, and that's something I'm fighting real hard with the shop. I'm going to stay in it. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing the updates, but I'm human too, and I have other things that are making me a lot more money than this. Thank God. But I feel for any new sellers because you are in for an uphill battle. And I'm going to get through the battle, but it's hard. Like, this is not easy. This is not easy at all. So anything you see online about, oh, make money in like 10 days and do no work and blah blah blah, it's BS. There is so much work involved. It's not even funny. And there are times where you have weeks like I just had and you're like, what am I doing? Like, why was this working for so long? And all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. I think I know what I did, and I'll tell you in a second. But yeah, you got to give things time. Time is it's on your side and it's against you at the same time. It's against you because your mind starts saying, knock it off, go do something else. And it's with you because if you stick with it, it will prevail and it will do well. So I've still got time to hit my goal, and I'm going to. That's it, bottom line. If I didn't have my goal and I didn't have accountability, where would I be? I'd be doing like 5 other different things right now. And I'm still doing some other things, but which are distracting me quite a bit from this challenge. But I know my 50 people that view this video like viewing the videos, so I'm going to keep doing them. And then by the end, where I have the gigantic screenshots, and everybody will go back and watch everything and go, oh my God, that was so amazing. But right now, even on the YouTube side, it's crap. So I'm sitting here going, okay, the challenge views are crap. Oh well, can't control that. The store performance last week was crap. Can't control that. All I really can control is what actions I take. So that's what I'm going to focus on. So let's dive in to the muck. Let's look at this. So let's go. Yesterday, like even yesterday, 3 orders for 7. Man, that's just crap. So let's go here, custom, and we got to go back a month. So 27th to 2nd, apply, and there's my revenue. 1,192 visits, which is down. 51 orders, 4.3% conversion rate, that's down. $66.40 revenue, that is way, way down, big time. I mean, Etsy's bringing me a lot of visits, which is good, like real good. I'm bringing 30, they're bringing 70. I like that shift, but they're just not converting near as well. So let's go and look at what I did, like a dummy, as usual with my Etsy ads. And let's go back here to custom, and we'll start on the 27th, and we'll go to the 2nd, apply. So I spent 57 bucks, I made like 66. So after fees and all that, I'm probably negative this week, which blows. I got 1 order, and it wasn't even for the whole shop bundle that I was promoting. So you can see I've been advertising 1 listing at $500 a day. Yeah, that is for the week, $57. So my budget on Etsy was, I basically said to Etsy, hey, you know what, bud? 500 bucks times 7 days, I'll hand you $3,500. They spent $57.41. That's it. That's all. You know what I did though? You know how you can go and you can click on your listing and you can manage it and you can remove keywords that you think aren't relevant? Well, I did that. And as soon as I did that, for the next 7 days, I got like no sales on that whole shop bundle. So all of the orders that I had coming in from that, I left those on and I turned off everything else. Because logically, you would think that if I turn off everything else and only run keywords that made actual orders, that's smart, right? That's what you would do, and that's what you'd think would work. Well, no. So let's go 57.41 divided by 3,500 that I offered them. They literally spent 1.6% of the budget that I was willing to give them for a company that I think is struggling right now to basically give me the middle finger and say, yeah, no, we're not going to give you that. Why? Why wouldn't you take my $3,500? Why not? Like, you're going to take that. I'm going to make sales. You're going to make more fee revenue, which is what you operate on. I don't understand it. I feel like I almost have to open up my own Etsy at this point and do it right. Like, I seriously think that I should just hire a bunch of coders, get a site up and running, and do it the right way. Because I don't think these guys know what they're doing. I really don't. Even with all the shutdowns they're having, and with all there was some huge drama with mock-ups and everything going on in the Etsy universe, where people are getting their store shut down, and they're saying that, oh no, it's because of mock-ups. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. You're doing something weird, or your banking information didn't line up, or something was off. Like, people online for Etsy are crazy. They really are. Like the bulk of them are just crazy. One person can put one thing out there and it will spread like wildfire without anything except people's opinions fueling the fire. It's amazing. I swear to God, I could put out a rumor about Etsy right now and it would spread through all the groups immediately. And I could just make it up. I could totally make it up and it would go. That's how it operates. It's so bizarre. But anyway, I'm not pleased with that. So let's go to my all-time here before I tell you what I'm going to do. So let's go to stats. Let's go to all-time. I actually thought I was going to crack 2,000 in revenue last week, and I'm really disappointed that I didn't. But you can see my conversion rate basically was cut in half last week. My traffic overall was 15,300 visits, 1,228 orders, 8% conversion rate, $1,819.82 in revenue, which is great. Etsy's starting to bring me more and more and more. I'm bringing less and less. So I have two things that I'm going to do next week. Number one, I'm going to go back into my Etsy ads and I'm going to turn back on everything. So there's probably like 383 keywords in there. And I shut off, like, it took me probably 45 minutes to shut these off because there's no easy way to do it. You have to go through one by one and turn them off. Super annoying. I'm going to turn those back on. And then I'm going to see what happens. I'm also tempted to run that $500 at my whole shop just to see what happens. I'm a little skittish right now because of coming off last week. I'm not feeling confident enough to do that. So it's almost like week 22 is going to be like a reset week where I put back those ads the way they were. And then it seemed like when I was spending more on Etsy ads, I was making more organically too. So I think there is a relationship, a direct relationship between how much you're spending on Etsy ads and how much you're going to get organically. So I think Etsy's looking at all the shops and saying, okay, Will's shop spent like $7 a day or $8 a day last week. So he doesn't get any organic sales. We're going to reduce his organic sales dramatically. However, if Will's shop's spending like $30 a day or $150 a week, well, now he's ranking above all these other shops that aren't spending much at all. So we'll give him more organic traffic because he's actually getting clicks that we can charge him for. There, from what I've seen, there's a direct relationship in there. So I'm going to reset it back to the way it was. I'm going to turn on all of those keywords, all like 383, I think there was. It's an insane amount. It's going to take me like 45 minutes to do. And I'm going to see how that goes. My other strategy is to get my social media up and running. Now, I'm not a fan of using the social media accounts that I have for the shop to bring traffic to Etsy because I'm building Etsy's brand with my free traffic. And because every single page on Etsy is a massive traffic leak, I don't like doing that. And a traffic leak meaning when you land on the page on Etsy, what's the first thing you see? It's like search on Etsy. I'll go to an incognito window here. I'll show you. So if I'm firing traffic here, the first thing they see, let's just go into any one of these. I don't care what it is. The first one I see. The first thing people see is this. Search for anything. And categories. And Etsy. And sign in. And all this stuff. Favorites. And then the second thing they see is all these links. Homepage. Books, films, and music. Because in this case, I don't know what this is. Personalized embroidery felt bookmarks. Wow. Hey, there's a product idea if you don't have one going. Make these. Get grandmas to make these and sell them on Etsy. I don't think you're making much at 611, but so I get finally into my listing, and then reviews, which are a distraction, and then notice like the description's hidden there, like you have to click more to view it, and then you got photos from reviews, and then more from this shop. Okay, thank you Etsy, that's wonderful. Oh, you may also like boom, 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 all your competition. And then browse collections, and then more, like just trying everything they can to get you to browse Etsy. So I don't like that. That's why I'm installing on sending social media traffic here, because I don't really want them to do that, but I think I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I'm still paying people. I'm paying Etsy to send traffic to my page, which is a huge traffic leak. So if I were to start a company like this, I would make the landing page like dedicated to the person who brought me the traffic. That's the first thing I would do. Even though that will hurt people searching everywhere else, I also know that when somebody buys on my platform, I'm talking like I already own one, I have their email, so I can fire out emails to everything. I don't know. I think Etsy started out in one category, handmade, and then they expanded in the pandemic, and now they're like, oh crap, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe we shouldn't have let like print-on-demand companies come in here. Maybe we shouldn't have let like those drop shippers that are wrecking their reputation come in here. Even some print-on-demand companies, because they take so long to ship, it's hurting it. Now on the digital side, it's a different story because they get it immediately. But I don't know. There's so much going through my head right now, and this is the point too where as a seller you start overthinking and you start thinking, okay, what else should I do? I need to tinker. I need to fix this. I need to change whatever I'm doing because it's not working. Well, it could just be a temporary slump. It could just be a little glitch in the algorithm. It could just be time of the year. It could just be a million different reasons why traffic dropped. I mean, for me, I know that I made that change where I upped my budget to 500 a day, and then I removed all the keywords that weren't working, and that actually screwed my sales completely. So for me, it's reset week. Let's see what that does. I think it will bring it back. Who knows? We're about to find out. I do also recommend watching your competition, which is literally either using one of the paid tools to watch it or going through and looking at like just make a simple Google sheet and once a week put in their sales stats. So maybe every Wednesday go in, look at the shop and just look at, like, if it were this shop, 77 Arts. So if I were into felt bookmaking, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look at this number every week, every Wednesday. And I'm just going to put that into a Google sheet. And you can see if they're up or down or sideways or what's happening with them. Then you could even do like percentage up, percentage of sales, how high they went up compared to the last week. And then you can gauge that against your shop too, which I call the make you feel better sheet. Because if you're down, odds are everybody else is down too. So if everybody's down, then there's not really much you can do except wait it out. But if you're down and they're not, then you got to examine why are you down and they're not, right? I don't even know what the shop is. I have no idea, but just an example. So I think I've noticed my competitors are down too, which makes me feel better. If they were up and I was down, I'd feel like crap. So temporary glitch in the matrix by a move. I think I know what I did wrong, so I'm going to go now and fix it. And then we'll see what happens next week. It is, I mean, it's like almost like a living, breathing thing here. And the inputs that you put into the system affect it either positively or negatively. The input I did affected it negatively, so I'm going to reverse that and reset it, and then maybe make another move going forward. All right, let me know in the comments how your performance was over the last week. Were you up or were you down? Let me know. We'll see you next week.